So there's more than 400 kilowatts on offer, 430 to be specific. That's 585 horsepower in the old money at 6,250 RPM. There's 700 Newton meters between 1900 and 5500 RPM, and yet the AMG GT R only uses 11.4 litres per 100 kilometres. It'll do 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds and onto a top speed of 318 kilometres an hour. With 400 kilowatts and 700 Newton meters, there's only one place to properly test the AMG GT R, and that's here on a racetrack. Fortunately, we're at Bilsterberg in the German countryside. We're about to test drive these monsters out on the racetrack, and I can't wait to get behind the wheel. The thing that's hardest to grasp about Bilsterberg is the change in elevation. It's crazy the way the track goes from low to high, and there are blind turn-in points on the corners. You can't see over the crest. It's really quite intimidating in a big, powerful car like the GTR. However, following experts like Bernd Schneider around has given us the opportunity to really have a look at the best way to tackle this circuit. And even though it's pretty scary, it's given us a really good example of the best way to get around here quickly. Let me tell you, this GTR is an absolute monster. It gets light as you come over the top. It feels like it gets really floaty, and then you're hard under brakes here. You pick your turn-in point, you hook it in, and you've got to be brave to get the best out of this car around this circuit because it's so intimidating. If you lean on the throttle a little too hard, the back end wants to step out. You've got to try to catch it. The electronics are excellent. They're very, very confidence-inspiring, and they help you work out what you're going to do, but you've got to be aware regardless. The thing about the GTR that most catches your attention is, even though it's a big, heavy vehicle, it responds really well to gentle input. So if you're gentle on the steering, gentle on the throttle, if you're gentle on the brakes and then you really lean into them hard, it pulls it up into these tight corners, and it doesn't feel like it's moving around too much to the point where you feel unsafe. The R is the most track-focused version of the GT, obviously, and on a racetrack it's an absolute weapon. It's snarling and popping and crackling. The brakes are incredible. The steering's really accurate. The turn-in's amazing, and it's balanced as well. You pick your line through the corners I've done here, and it just stays exactly where you want it. Even though it's a big, heavy car, it's not a car that's intimidating to drive quickly. And believe me, we've driven it quickly on track today. So I've done my first of 3 track sessions already in the GTR, and I have to tell you, these things are amazing. In fact, have a listen to this. They sound unreal, they make all the right noises, and they're incredibly easy to drive fast on a racetrack too. This Bilsterberg is something else. It's more like a roller coaster. Have another listen. It's more like a roller coaster than a racetrack. It's an amazing facility, and the AMG GTR, absolute weapon.